to echo the thank yous to the team that has been put together. I want to, though, keep highlight on who hired all of us to be in this room. The taxpayer, the person that's struggling every day, the person that bought some bubble gum, some person that's paying their property taxes. The only reason we are here talking about the Bengals did not hire us to be here. The taxpayers hired each of us. And yes, we have thousands and thousands of folks that live in Hamilton County, and I'm happy to represent them. But I have to acknowledge the 218,000 plus that went to the polls and said, yes, I want Reece to represent me. And I don't take that lightly. My first election, they had to risk their life because we had COVID. And they went out in the COVID to vote for me, and I take that very, very seriously. I do want to thank our prosecutor who came in and allowed us to come with a new team. I wish the team was here at the beginning of this process. And I know that took a lot of guts. Now, with that, I want to give a caveat. This is not personal. Somebody said it was business, but it's also the business of the people that I'm supposed to be representing. The Bengals have their lawyers, and they have to represent their client at all costs. They don't care about anything of our clients. They care about their clients. And I have to represent the taxpayers. I'm a Bengal fan, but I got to take the fan off. I can buy a ticket and go to the game. I can tailgate. That's different. We're talking about the people's money, their future in this county. So the deal is between the Bengals ownership and the taxpayers. And sometimes we kind of make Hamilton County appear to be kind of a business or an entity of its own. It's not versus the county government, it's versus the taxpayers who will have to pay for this deal, not just today, but all the way through. In 1997, I was not even in politics at all. And I done been to the city, the state, and now the county. That's how long ago this was. But they put together an agreement that no matter who sits up here, no matter who the administrator is, no matter who the county commissioners are, no matter who the prosecutors are, that they put an ironclad deal that we must abide by. I got here and was handcuffed to a deal that was done before I even thought about being in politics. So what we're doing now is our first crack at what happened in 1997 and what we can do today. So with that, I have to be honest about some stuff. Number one, this is not a lease. That's number one. Number two, I feel that my people that voted for me, it has been taken away from me because already, and I don't know who sent it out, I'm very confused. I haven't voted, but I was elected to give a vote. And on here it has 1 hour ago, Cincinnati Enquirer, here are the terms of the new lease. Before, Mr. Ludo, you even presented it to the people. You said, now we have a PowerPoint. That it's already an Enquirer. So the PowerPoint was given out before the people got it. It's in USA Today, it's in the Enquirer. Then let's go to WKRC. 9 minutes ago, deal is reached. We haven't even taken a vote. Deal has been reached. So who put it out there? Somebody put it out there. WLWT Channel 5. Bengals County leaders reach a deal. I haven't even voted yet. I should have the right to vote. Somebody put it out that the deal was already reached, and this is why the speeches was being made. Sports Illustrated done got a hold of it. Cincinnati Bengals and Hamilton County agree. This is the problem. This is the problem that's really going on. And I try to come in here and say, well, really no Reece, kind of lay back. And I ain't laying back. 218,000 people voted for me to come down here and get a vote. And y'all done, somebody done gave it out that we're in the bag. It's a done deal. Somebody gave it to them. Somebody handed it to them. How did they get the lease an hour ago? Somebody handed it to them. While we sitting here looking at it, this ain't the first time. What I'm here today to talk about, and I'm just as angry as the taxpayers are. What I'm here to talk about is, number one, I will not be no rubber stamp. Number two, you will not dictate what my vote is before I take a vote. We shouldn't be handing out information before the people get it. Somebody handed it out. Because we was just now saying, let's go to the PowerPoint, and I'm looking at the thing, it's already. That's a problem. The problem we have now is the process that was done in 1997. We're back with the same process. Voters were told if you go to the polls and vote for these two stadiums, you will get 30%. It may not have passed if the 30% wasn't in there. They lied to the taxpayers. They gave them a concept. That's what we're doing today. They gave them a concept. But the concept is a lot different than when you get to this thing right here. All these pages, all these whereases, all this. This is where the taxpayers got screwed. They won on a concept, but they lost on the actual binding agreement. So for me, I can't get up and clap and take a bow. Because I've been, since 1997, they told you the date that this would expire. We had almost 30 years to get to the expiration date. So I don't know why we're running out of time. We had 30 years to get to the expiration date. We do not have a lease. So I want to make that very clear. So what I'm trying to do is what didn't happen in 1997. I got to read the fine print. I can't go with ideas. I can't go with LOIs, letter of intent, unenforceable. It's not enforceable in the court of law. It's not binding. I can't go with memos, memorandums of understandings. I've been very consistent. Where is the lease? I need the whereases, I need the commas, I need the periods. And I'm not necessarily blaming this team because they came in late to the game, but I just want to say that doesn't change that this is where I've been since I got here 5 years ago. And it hasn't changed that the deadline is in stone, it's in the contract, since 1997. So we knew 1997 this day would come. With that being said, today what's presented is what was presented to the voters in 1997, a concept. What the voters got mad about is when we got past the concept and we got to the actual lease. This is not a lease. In fact, the resolution says resolution to authorize negotiation of a new lease. Well, somebody said we've been negotiating, but now we're gonna vote now to negotiate a new lease. Another thing that it says on here, I have to put my other glasses on so I really can read this stuff, because they make it real fine print. It says, be it further resolved that neither the term sheet attached to this resolution nor a subsequent letter of intent shall be interpreted as a new lease agreement. I didn't see that in the articles they put out. Between the board, and neither the board or the team will have any rights or obligations under a new lease agreement until the final lease is done. Now on here it says after this we'll start talking about a lease. It does not have a deadline. We're extending a deadline into perpetuity, because there's no date on it, to get the lease. And I'll be honest with you, I've had people come to me and say, listen, you guys have been on this lease. I've been hearing about this lease since December of last year. Of course, we've been doing it longer. And we got other issues. We out here struggling. People done lost their jobs. We had a veteran outside of our last meeting. There was a lot of commotion. And I asked, well, what was the commotion about? This veteran, Caucasian veteran, he was mad and they said, be quiet. He said, don't tell me to shh, because they done turned off my gas and electric and I serve this country. So my question in this LOI, since we are representing the taxpayers, that's our portion of taxpayers, there are some things that I think need to be hit on. Number one, today we do not have a final lease. The agreement being voted on today is not a final lease, it's not legally binding, it's not enforceable, it's an LOI concept. Same as what the voters had in 1997 when they voted for this and they gave them a concept. We'll have two stadiums and you have 30%. Never happened. Number two, broken promises since 1997. Voters was promised a 30% rebate to support the construction of the two riverfront stadiums. That promise was really never fulfilled, leaving taxpayers with no guaranteed benefits. So in here, the Bengals get a guarantee, but there's no guarantee tangible for the taxpayers. The taxpayers are left out of this deal. I even asked them, in the old deal, which is the one we got right now, and it's not going to change, by the way, until we get a new lease, so it's still the same deal, at least I could present every year 30%. And we got it 2 of the years that I was here. I've been here 5 years. It's a struggle. But in this year, you can't even get to 30%. I can introduce it, and they'll say, oh, well, you signed off that you knew we didn't have the money. You can't even think about it till 7 years into a 10-year deal. So you at the end of the deal, the taxpayers are at the end. They're at the bottom. We'll be negotiating a new deal before we get to their 30% at a time when their number one issue is property taxes right now. So that's in there. They said we can put a few, but we won't be able to get to 30, is what I was told. Maybe the 7th year of the 10-year new deal. Now, taxpayers, we're giving a guarantee to the Bengals, okay. They have 9 games, 66,000 attendees. 50% of them don't live in Hamilton County. And then we have the homeowners. They're about 220,000 to 230,000 homeowners, and they have no guarantee in the deal. Even the old deal allowed us to pretend we could try to do something. The new deal, we can't even 30% forget about it until the 7th year. The other thing is, as we look at the time, and I know all of us had tried to get a longer deal. The original deal was what, almost 30 years, 20-something years? We're coming in with a 10-year deal with a few options. Now, we also have the Red Stadium. Their deal ends in 2037. So now we would be negotiating, this is the second deal with the Bengals, we would be negotiating a third deal plus the Reds' second deal at the same time. And if you say we ain't got no money now for the taxpayers, how will we be able to do that with 2 stadiums almost overlapping in time? And then the other thing, we was wanting to get some state support. We got nothing. We got nothing. Maybe they'll put a thing together and we can go up there and beg. But the Browns is in the deal. Now people say, well, Reece, did you meet with the governor? Well, when I was president, I was approved to go into one meeting only. And I went in there with Mr. Ludo and the people we have, and we asked for the governor to make sure that we're included. He put a plan together for a whole pot of money and everything. But then I wasn't there no more. All those other meetings I wasn't in, I don't know about. But let me say this. His plan and the state plan, I wanted to tell you what exactly I told him. It's in the Cleveland.com, September 19th, 2024. Okay? It has in here, Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reece says she reiterated the message that Cincinnati wants its fair share. That was my last conversation with him. The Browns is in there by name. We got 0. We got 0. So the state was willing to let the Bengals leave the state. Then the Bengals had the city in there asking for some money. We didn't ask for it, but they put some in. The city said no. They told them no. The state said no. The city said no. It was interesting. So to put it on the county that we was not cooperative, I can't buy that, because we have been working to try to keep them. Everything I have received in writing. I gave you the resolution that we're getting ready to pass, or not me, but they'll be passing. It has on here, no impact on the lease on the memo. The memo has that. It says, quote, nothing in this memo is intended to, nor shall be deemed or constructed to, alter the terms of the current lease. So what I'm trying to do different that they didn't do in 1997, I must read all fine print. I must read what exactly they signed in writing. I must make sure whatever we have in writing has to be binding, enforceable, and legal. Meaning, this lease in here got a lot of whereases, got a lot of clauses, and it's cost the taxpayers. So today we have no lease. That's number one. Number two, there's nothing tangible for the taxpayer. Nothing tangible. The Bengals would be guaranteed $350 million, but the taxpayers are guaranteed nothing on their property taxes. We'll be in single digits. And Mr. Ludo and the finance people will say, you knew, Reece, we told you that we can't get to 30% at a time when property taxes is the number one issue right now. They even try to put something on the ballot. They packed the room. So I believe that maybe we heading into some good things in here. I'm not going to say all these things are bad. There are some good things in here. I want to acknowledge that getting out of a 94%, 6% is a very tough thing to crawl out of. But I'm going to keep pushing until we get the actual lease where I can read every single clause. Because one thing I learned in reading this lease is that one group, the Bengals lawyers in 1997, they paid attention to all clauses. And stuff that we said, oh, it's just little, don't worry about it. Those things came to bite us. And they don't do nothing unless it's everything they ever did. Say they go back to this thing right here, the lease. So I think that this is a unfulfilled promise right now. I think that there's some additional work to be done, and I am going to continue to be optimistic and hopeful that we can make sure that there is some guarantee for the taxpayers of Hamilton County, who are the ones that are 100% on the hook to paying for this. So those are some points that I brought out, and at this time I cannot confidently move forward with LOIs or memos. I don't want none of those. I don't want no memos. I don't want no LOIs. I don't want no emails. I have one thing I've wanted since I got elected. This. And once I get this and we read through it and it looks good, then I'll be ready to make another move. So that's not to diminish the work they've done. You came in late, you tried to get going, you moved as quick as you could, but I don't even think we should have a extension that don't have an end date. And the people I'm talking to is the taxpayer. That's who I'm talking to. We don't have an end date. And I think everything should have a deadline. So those are the things that I see, and I'm hopeful that we can keep working with the pen, keep getting the calculators out, and let's try to hope to get a good deal that becomes a true win-win that is enforceable by law. Thank you.